Yeah. Yeah. You know what's hyping me up is all these other trailers that are out there trying to, push their way into headlines and what have you and make headway. Fellas, this fall there will be literally a dragon reigning over Westeros, right? And it's just we're gonna have dragons galore. I don't think people understand what's about to happen.
They have no idea.
They have no idea.
So here's the thing. So Jimmy and I, we have a Facebook chat, well, as we all do. It's like a little group we have. Shout out to Ryan and Sir Ryan, Sir Matthew Perry as well. But one of the things that Jimmy and I are always tweeting, or at least posting on this Facebook group back and forth, is like comments of people being like, after season 8, like it's one thing. We didn't like season 8, whatever. Everybody did. But the people who were like, season 8 ruined Game of Thrones forever. Like, it'll never, ever, ever come back. Like, there's no way they could do a prequel.
The IP's dead.
It's dead. The IP's dead. It's so screwed. And then they're like, hey, we're going to do this House of the Dragon. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's so stuffed. Like, everyone's so done with that after season 8, whatever.
Right.
Even though Ez and I have been there, we were there during the Star Wars sequels when everyone said, I'm so done with Star Wars. and then this little show called The Mandalorian came out, and everyone was like, okay, well, Star Wars is pretty sick.
Well, I got
okay. So anyway, so Jim and I are always messaging each other. And then the moment they dropped the House of the Dragon thing, we were just like posting all of like these comments back and forth, and people would be like, all right, not gonna lie, like low-key kind of excited for this. And now everyone's like, oh my God, can't wait. It's like, of course, that's what we've been saying for 2 years.
Hey, you know what? It's all water under the bridge. It's all water under the bridge. I love to say I told you so. But You know what? We welcome these people back because really Westeros is better with everybody here. It's even better when everybody likes and subscribes, so make sure you guys are doing that here on Bend the Knee.
Amen. Amen. Good God. Wasn't there just like days ago this promotional?
We've actually had 2 sort of House of the Dragon trailers this week. We had the first one was on Monday or Tuesday, which was this behind the scene, and it was George talking, right? Yep. He was talking about the team he's been building with Ryan and Miguel, and he's talking about how like Miguel, hey, he's won an Emmy, right?
Yeah, right.
They filmed these huge epic battles. I mean, he won an Emmy.
Yeah.
And it was funny because then we were joking about Wheel of Time, which we also cover, but it's like, here at House of the Dragon, we've got a Emmy award winning showrunner here, and at Wheel of Time they have a Survivor contestant.
Right.
So like
what you gotta do?
I mean, I'm here for the Wheel on Time slander. I'm here.
Yeah. But I mean, you're right though. So it's like, we had 2 big drops, and I guess my question to Jimmy is, you saw the one with George where he was just talking everything, right? I mean, did you feel like, because I thought again we weren't gonna get this till Saturday. And you talked about the confidence that they have just coming out, dropping this stuff and saying, here, we're going to walk in here and we're just, we're just going at it. So they dropped that. And it just felt like in that first one, the trailer's amazing. We'll get to it in a second. But there was such confidence in that first drop that I was like, they are just coming in strong.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, the article that Entertainment Weekly did, which is, in my opinion, a terrible publication, but they did do a very nice job with this article, and they talked about some of the things that they've disagreed on in the production. Miguel wanted to change, I think it was Miguel, I might be getting it wrong, but Miguel wanted to change some of the Targaryen names, said, hey, they're kind of hard to pronounce, and apparently Ryan was like, absolutely not. So we have a guy there who is true to George's vision.
There you go.
To an extent. Do I think the changes are being made? Yeah. I even think maybe from the trailers, we're starting to see some of that come out. However, I still think that like what they have and what they're going to do is going to be a very compelling story while still getting the heart of it all. And I thought the Entertainment Weekly article was excellent. And George does seem to be very, very positive on this. And he's not going to say, hey, my show is going to suck. Like he's not going to do that.
Right. Yeah.
But if you go back and look at some of the press that he did, like pre-season 8, post-season 8, like right after, he was complimentary, but it never felt like he was putting that big seal stamp on it, right?
No.
I feel that here. And I think that it reminds me a lot of whenever Thrones was like at its peak and he was so proud. So I feel very confident with the way George is being, forthcoming about the show and how confident he is. But on top of that, the fact that George is being, he reviewed every single script. That's pretty big. Yeah. So I think Ryan's there to keep the lore pretty consistent, like within means, it is an adaptation. So we need to expect some changes.
Sure.
Contrary to, us nerds' beliefs, that can happen and still be very compelling. Right. So I feel good, man. I feel really, really good.
Well, I wanted to say too, because I felt the same confidence because you pick up on stuff, you pick up on body language, you pick up on just George is very particular in his word choice and like you said, his stamp of approval or whatever. He really can't. He wanted it to be known for sure, even in what he said in that was that he's in on this, right? That he's a part of this. And he wanted that to be just known, right? That like I am here and I'm with them on this. And it felt like it had a bit of like more approval. And I think again, it's early. We're just starting this whole thing and everything, right? So, but that can change over the years, as we saw with Game of Thrones. But still, that feels good to have that coming in to season 1 here. And I'm glad, they're not changing things like the names and stuff like that. People will learn how to say, the names.
Araxes. Well, also those are the things that set this apart, because even though they're very difficult names, and I mess them up all the time. I don't know about you guys, but I mess them up consistently. Yeah. However, that's like part of the secret sauce of Westeros, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yep, this makes it stand out more. So, and then I think we're gonna get into here in just a second, but as we break down the trailer, there was a lot of really cool. We have the trailer is actually giving us a better understanding of I think how things are going to go, what they're going to do. Matt and I've been talking about
and what the timeline of this.
Right.
I'm actually beginning to wonder one of two things is happening. One, it's going to be heavy flashbacks in the first few episodes, which is all of what we're getting in the trailer, like a lot of shows do. Like we've covered enough Star Wars to know, as like the Mandalorian, there's very specific with their trailers is that like whatever you see is only stuff in like the first 3 episodes.
Right. Yep.
Not everyone else does that. Sometimes they'll show like a little snippet or a line from other things down the line. Because like Stranger Things showed stuff in their trailer that was like in their second part of that first trailer.
Right.
So because we've seen so much of young Rhaenyra, I'm wondering is like season 1 just going to be very focused on their backstory? And every time we cover it, but the women they have playing young Rhaenyra and young Alicent literally look like they could be like they're like sis. I mean, like in real life, look like they. I mean, if they just look just like them, it is like mind-boggling to me how good like that. Because like other things, like the girl that plays young Leia in Obi-Wan. I don't know that she really like. I mean, yeah, it's like great. Like she was great in the role, but when I look at her, do I think like young Carrie Fisher? No.
Yeah.
No, I get you. The kid they had playing Luke Skywalker looked like nothing like Mark Hamill. So
right, it's tough. Yeah, again, it's like you have these and I guess the weird thing is that it's actually easier to do. Like you brought up the Kenobi example when there's a greater gap. And you can actually kind of shake your head and be like, whatever. It's more you suspend. You look at Anakin Skywalker versus
here. You're doing a direct
look at
comparison.
episode 1 versus episode 2. You know what I mean? You had Hayden Christensen and you had that, and you had Jake Lloyd. So, but here, you have again, you're trying to. I mean, they're closer in age, right? They're actually closer supposedly, and they look.
And you're and you're going to be flashing back between them as young and current.
Right. Well, I actually think it's going to be. I think it's possibly going to be linear. I think that I think they will set it up. I think because there's enough material there. I mean, you could do the flashbacks. I kind of hope they don't do the flashbacks, though, if I'm being honest. I would prefer it to be linear. And then Noelle actually, I think, said this in the chat. She said a 10-year time jump in the middle of the season. I think you have a mid-season finale and then you jump. But you're right. It could be flashbacks. We really don't know at this point. It does seem that from the article I read that Alicent, I just had someone drive by and honk the horn in my house.
Let's go.
Sorry. I do think Rhaenyra and Alicent are going to be friends, and then Alicent will marry. So that's a little bit different than what we have, but I think that's actually pretty interesting. I think one of the things about Fire and Blood that we don't get because it's a history is a lot of the dynamics in the relationships. We just know who did not get along, maybe what triggered those events, but like the interpersonal relationships there are something that these creators are going to have to figure out. So I actually like that change quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, I was talking to Matt the other day about this. I was like, when I read Fire and Blood and you get this sort of backstory on Alicent Hightower, you don't get a whole lot of that interaction with a young Rhaenyra. It's really their interactions are when they're first married, before she has kids and all that kind of stuff. But they're showing you something like prior to her. I don't know. Like it felt like when she was
Well,
I don't know, 40s.
King Jaehaerys is in this.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going back far enough that you could do. I mean, Allison Hightower there with him and everything, which is cool. So I love the idea that it would just be a linear thing with the time jump or whatever, because the first half of this is going to be. I feel like the young actors are just they're gonna tear it up. It's just
Do you think? And Jimmy, because this is one thing we haven't talked to you about yet. Like the fact that Jaehaerys is going to be in this.
It's wild.
It's crazy.
It's
like
wild.
it was like we were all just assuming like, hey, maybe like he would just be dead or whatever. But now that we get this, like, because one of the big things about Alicent is that people believe she was perhaps the one who did King Jaehaerys finally in, because she's the only one in the room with him as he dies.
I think a lot of stuff happened in those rooms.
Amen. Yeah.
The dogs were barking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. They were. Well, and so actually, there's in that article or the images that were released, there's a hint towards that, which is that her father is setting all this up. Otto Hightower is there setting a lot of their kind of takeover. And something really interesting too, if you notice, and we'll bring the trailer up here in a second, she wears the 7-pointed star, and they're from Old Town. So you've got the Faith, you've got the Citadel backing them. The Targaryens, when they came in, I mean, you kind of think about it, we're not too far along. We're not too far away, I guess, even we're 100 years from the conquest. So a lot of these individuals were, you think about the old king being there and being younger or whatever. The realm wasn't so satisfied with the Targaryens and their marriages, more than one wife and marrying your sisters. And, I don't know, Daemon looks like he's going to hook up with his niece in this.
Yeah. So here's a question.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know that people know that that's going to be a thing yet.
Oh, so are we not allowed to? I mean,
I would say, we're doing spoilers?
No. We're not that we're doing spoilers, but I just think that people like just your average person watching it, are gonna like get to that point like, wow, Game of Thrones is all about incest.
Well, this one certainly is. There is a lot of people online, and people have mentioned in the chat already, saying that Aegon, where's Aegon? Where's Aegon? Where's Aegon? Is this going to become down to Daemon and Rhaenyra? Are they going to clash and change that? I think it could be a red herring, but it could happen. Now, some of the clips in the trailer would not make a ton of sense, in my opinion. The tourney thing kind of looks like Rhaenyra is kind of like looking at him with like lust almost at one point in the trailer. Also the bridge scene.
Yeah.
I don't think that it kind of looks like the Hightowers and the Daemon are on one side and the other, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing mixed signals. I'm seeing that Daemon is he said, I'm your heir, right?
Yeah.
In the trailer. So I just want to say this. I saw some people say, if that happens, I'm out. I don't think that. I think it's a huge change, but like it still can keep the overall theme of the story. Like that's still a compelling story to tell, in my opinion. So I'm not that hung up on if they change that, but I have seen a lot of people say, if Aegon's not in this, I'm out.
I'm very certain that Aegon will be in it. I just think it's going to be like a season 2 thing, because you already have to establish so many characters and everything.
Yeah.
To bring it in. And like the trailer again is targeted to people who like know nothing about the books or anything. So it's people who are just watching it and you're trying to.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. You're like, hey, we have Matt Smith, by the way. Like that's that's your big deal. You're trying to push, because I'm sure a bunch of people watch the trailer and they didn't even know that the little girls, like the little Rhaenyra, is the same as the woman who's in the thing. Because you watching the trailer by yourself, like without any Game of Thrones, you would not know that. You would just be like, oh, it's a different character. Maybe that's the same point,
man. Yeah. If you're just at large watching this, you're not really paying much attention. That's going to be something that when you go into it, it will be explained. We all kind of know that
it'll be explained, right?
Yeah, but they'll have to kind of wade through that, which actually the easiest way to do it then might be to go linear and not do, flashback. It would work either way, but it's just
it just depends on how you do it, obviously.
Yeah. I think that you're on to something. I think maybe season 2 he'll be a bigger deal. What is BTS? Someone said Aegon was showed on the
behind
BTS.
the
behind the scenes. Okay, I'm sitting here like,
oh, was it? Let me pull that up. Okay.
Yeah, but people are saying also is kind of cast as a secondary actor. So we'll have to see. I guess what I just wanted to say was, if that is a change, I'm okay with it. Like I really don't mind that much. I think that there's still an interesting story to be told if it is Daemon, and there's going to be quite a bit of changes if that's the truth. But I don't think so. Like I said, the bridge scene, it kind of leans into the fact that maybe Daemon and Rhaenyra are on the same side. Also, I really loved the fact that we see Cole training Aemon Targaryen, which we know ends up being a big rival of Rhaenyra.
You did, and you did. Yeah, Aemon one eye. You did see his eye patch. That was sick.
Sick.
And I gotta say, I am actually Otto Hightower, the actor who's playing Otto Hightower.
Yeah, which is the guy from The Replacements.
The Replacements. I was like, I know I've seen him in something before. What is it? Yeah, he's in The Replacements. That's right.
Also, we have a comment, and it says it was confirmed that it will be linear in the article that ccame out. So,
really?
Yeah, well, it will be a linear story, which I think is much better.
Right.
And now thinking about that, I actually could see Aegon being a bigger character in season 2. Makes a lot of sense.
You can't because like you're already doing so much in season 1. You're having this like time jump that's going to happen. You're 2. We already know who the Targaryens are, but you have to explain here's 2 sides of the Targaryens that want to kill each other. Then you have to explain this entire house that nobody in Game of Thrones who only watched Game of Thrones knows about, called House Valerion, and why they're important. And then like the High Towers. And so there's all new people. Although if you remember the original trailer, like the very first one, it is going to be cool because when like Viserys is like sitting down and like in the trailer it's like I Rickard Stark and I like Baratheon and stuff. So sick. By the way, I went and rewatched it because I was like, this new trailer is pretty good, but I went back and watched that and I was like, this is still the best trailer, or at least like the one that got me like the most freaking hyped.
Right.
So,
right.
But I think that'll be good for people to hear some of those names, like right out the gate, probably.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.